Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to look at cash application process. So if you have an interview schedule in cash application process, this video is going to help you a lot. So first thing first, what are the topics that we are going to cover in today's video? We will start with what is cash application process. Then we will move to stages of cash application. After that, we will see what is the importance of cash application process, and then we will check out what is the payment matching process in cash application. Followed by, we will see what is UAC, deductions and disputes, and lastly we are going to see what is KPIs of cash application process. So without any further ado, let's get started. So we will start with what is cash application process. So our cash application process is a process where we apply the cash which we have received from our customer against the bill or outstandings against their name. So if you want to answer this question during an interview, how you can do it? The end-to-end cash application process is a part of order to cash cycle where a company receives payment from its customer and applies them to correct customer account. This process ensures that the payments are accurately recorded and allocated, reducing any discrepancies or errors. So the process of applying the cash against the outstanding invoices is known as cash application process. Okay, great. Now we will move ahead and see what are the key stages of cash application process. So our cash application process will start with receiving payment from our customer. So let's suppose we have a customer who purchases a TV from us for $500 and pays through a check. So the customer will give us check and receive the TV from us in exchange of that particular $500 check. Moving ahead, now let's talk about the second stage of cash application process, which is going to be identifying the customer. So whenever you will receive any payment, the next step would be to identify the customer from whom we have received this payment. So in our example, we will match the received check with the invoice related to the purchase of TV. Moving ahead, our third step would be to verify and validate. So in this step, what you are going to do, you are going to verify and identify the authenticity and validate the accuracy of payment details. So this involves identifying the payment amount is matching with the open invoice amount. Once you are done with this step, you can move to the next stage, which will be apply the payments in the books of account. So what do you mean by apply the payment? So once you are done with your verification process, you can apply or record the payment to the correct customer account. For example, the example we have seen earlier in the first stage, if we take the same example here, you need to allocate the $500 check amount to the customer account who has purchased the TV against the open invoice of that TV. Once you're done with this stage, your next stage would be to perform reconciliations. So what is a reconciliation? We have already discussed multiple times in our previous video. So reconciliation is very important in cash application process as well. Why, you ask? Because it involves matching the payments received with the company's bank statement and ensure that all the payments are accounted for. This step helps the company in identifying the discrepancies or any missing payments. Once you have completed your reconciliation process, you can move to the next stage, which is going to be the final stage of reporting and documentation. So finally, what you are going to do, you are going to prepare a report and maintain a proper documentation of cash application process. This will include generating reports like daily cash receipts, outstanding balances, and any discrepancies found during the reconciliation process. These reports provide visibility into the company's cash flow and help in financial analysis. Okay, great. Now let's move on and talk about what is the importance of cash application process. So let me ask you one thing. What do you think? Why cash application process is important? Think of 2 or 3 answers. Then we will start this video. Okay, so I hope you have thought of 1 or 2 points at least. Now let us look why cash application process is very important for any business. So the first thing is accurate financial reporting. Then it also helps in cash flow management. Then it also minimizes errors and discrepancies. Followed by, it also facilitates customer satisfaction. Also, It helps in effective credit and collection management. And lastly, it helps with audit and compliances. So these are the various reasons. That's why cash application process is very important for any business. One by one, we are going to look at each of these. So we'll start with accurate financial reporting. So cash application process ensures that payment received from customer are accurately recorded and allocated to the correct customer accounts, which helps in maintaining the accuracy of financial reporting. Our point number two is cash flow management. So proper cash application process allow a business to effectively manage their cash flow by promptly and accurately allocating payments. Companies can track their incoming cash and plan their outgoing payments accordingly. This helps maintain sufficient liquidity, meet financial obligations, and inform decisions regarding investment expenses and growth opportunities. Moving ahead, what is our third importance of cash application process? Minimizing errors and discrepancy. So the cash application process helps in reducing the errors and discrepancies in payment allocation. Accurate recording and matching the payment to invoice minimize the risk of incorrect allocation, duplicate entry, or missed payments. So by minimizing error, business can avoid financial loss, maintain customer trust, and also improve overall operational efficiency. Moving ahead, what is our next importance of cash application process? That is going to be customer satisfaction. So timely and accurate cash application contributes to high customer satisfaction. Now, few of you might ask how. So let's suppose if a customer has already paid, but still you are chasing them for payment, it will decrease their level of confidence in your business that even after paying, they are chasing you for payment again. That's why it is very important whenever you are receiving the payment from any customer, you are clearing their overdue in your system as well. And how that can be ensured? By effective cash application process. Moving ahead, what is our next importance of cash application process? So cash application process also helps with credit and collection management. Cash application process is closely tied to credit and collection process. You may ask how? So properly applying payments helps business accurately track customer balance and identify overdue amount. This information is very vital for credit decisions, collection efforts, and determining the credit worthiness of the customer. It enables business to manage credit risk effectively and optimize cash collections. Moving ahead, what is our next benefit of cash application process? So cash application process also helps us with audit and compliances. So the cash application process ensures compliance with internal controls, accounting standards, and regulatory requirements are met. Accurate recording and allocation of payments contribute to transparent financial reporting, reduce the risk of non-compliance or financial irregularities. One very important thing which I want you to focus on is attention to detail. It is very important to understand the significance of accuracy and attention to detail in cash application process, because if you won't pay attention to details, you might end up allocating amount to an incorrect customer, or you might allocate incorrect amount to a customer which you have received from them. So it is very essential that your attention to detail skill is top notch if you want to work in a cash application process. Moving ahead, now let's talk about what is payment matching process in cash application. So it is nothing but the process of associating received payments with the corresponding invoices or outstanding customer balance. It involves identifying and linking the payment to correct customer account and a specific invoice or transaction for which the payment is intended. For example, let's suppose we have so many customers who are paying for their outstanding bill and we have received the cash or payment from our customer. So now we will use payment matching to identify our outstanding balance from those particular customer, and we will clear their overdue or outstanding balance from our books of accounts. Payment matching is crucial for accurately allocating and applying payments to correct customer account. It ensures that the payment received is correctly matched to corresponding open invoice or outstanding balance, reduce the errors, and maintaining accurate financial records. The payment matching process involves comparing various details such as payment amount, customer information, invoice number, dates, and other relevant information. The goal is to identify best match between the payment which we have received and all the outstanding balances or invoices. So let us understand it with the help of one example. Let's say a customer sends $500 for their outstanding invoice. So the payment matching process will involve reviewing the payment detail such as check number, customer name, payment amount, and then the accounts receivable team compare this information with the open invoices for that customer. If they find a match of invoice $500, the payment will be applied to that specific invoice, reducing the customer outstanding balance by that particular amount. But that's way too easy. Life is not going to be that easy for you in cash application process, because you will see so many cases where you will receive a consolidated amount for multiple invoices. For example, let's suppose you have received the $500 amount, but it is not for a single invoice. Instead, customer has sent us $500 against the two open invoices of $300 and $200 respectively. So what you have to do, you have to identify both these invoices and adjust the payment in both these invoices and clear out these two outstanding invoices and reduce the balance of outstanding amount from the customer. Let's suppose if the payment which you have received, you are not able to allocate it to the customer invoice, then it might go as unapplied cash until you get the more detail from the customer. Moving ahead, now let's talk about what is unapplied cash. So unapplied cash refers to that payment that cannot be allocated to a specific invoice. It could be due to missing invoice information, payment discrepancies, or other reason. So let's suppose you have received any payment, but you have not received the information related to that particular payment. So it will be very difficult for you to identify the invoice and clear the outstanding balance. Many a times you will see that you have received the information with the payment, but those information and outstanding invoice information are mismatched. So in those cases also, you won't be applying that cash until you get the clarification from the customer. So whenever you will receive any payment from customer, but you are not netting off that amount against any invoice, it will stay as UAC or unapplied cash in your books of account. Moving ahead, now let's talk about what is deductions and disputes. So there could be cases where customer may dispute or deduct some amount from their payments due to product quality issue, late delivery, or any other reason. You will need to learn how to handle these deductions or disputes, communicate with customer or internal team to resolve them, and update the customer account accordingly. So whenever you will see deduction or dispute cases, your cash received will be stay in UAC or unapplied stage. So these two topics are very important. Make sure you know them by your heart, because interviewer might ask you question from these two topics. Moving ahead, now let's talk about what is key performance indicator of cash application process. So KPI of cash application process may include metrics like days sales outstanding, cash application accuracy, unapplied cash aging, and lastly, cash flow forecasting accuracy. So these are some of the most important KPIs of cash application process. So if you want to learn what is O2C cycle, you can watch my this video. And if you want to learn what kind of question interviewer might ask you can check out my this video next.